like get the bottom out of this.
I have several places in Newport I really enjoy visiting, but I think top of my list is Nana's.
No, we can't actually, because it sends a pulse. We can't control the shape of the transmit. Right. Thinking. It's a good idea.
There's a new place down there. It's called
So you might as well just look at everything.
It's a brew house, but it has a lovely deck that you can see the ocean.
Nice.
Outside. Really nice.
Keep going.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Is it different now than the other day because it's facing down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a lot more noise in the water column when you do that because you get hard returns off the bottom, which just like insonifies everything. And
What are you thinking, guys?
I'm thinking we're not seeing anything, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we could go back to that
Did we
place
turn all the way
where-
around?
We did already.
Or 180 degrees? That
Yeah,
should have been
we did.
sufficient.
Once you're satisfied, maybe we should go back to that place where we saw the minor bubbling.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Look
So
at
I'm
that
going to
again.
come back around
To where?
to the so
We're in
facing
we're in
north.
Okay, north, roger.
Coming around. Oh, we're going back to the original bubble
Yeah.
site?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm
just gonna look around there a little bit more, and
Okay. Let's come down.
Okay.
then we might. Start traveling around and explore a bit, but hopefully we'll see something that would be sampleable.
All right, team, inquiring minds want to know what is the yellow oval-shaped thing in the middle of our cable?
What?
If you're watching on
it's a
channel
football.
2, yeah.
Football float. Yeah.
What does a football float do?
breach nav, 8
So
meters.
the football float is
275.
a football-shaped piece of syntactic foam used to bring up a section of the tether. We want it sort of a S shape. So there's actually a piece of lead that's in there, and that's in between two football floats. So you get like, well, I guess you get two humps, and that helps us manage the shape of the tether. You don't want the tether laying on the bottom. You want it up floating, but not floating straight up. So
Interesting.
okay.
About how big is that for scale reference?
It's the size of a football, actually.
I think it's a little more like rugby ball, maybe.
Yeah,
I got what?
a rugby ball.
A rugby ball.
That's
Well,
a-
they make them different sizes, but
Okay.
they're all like that shape because
Is a rugby ball bigger than a football?
Quite a bit
Of
bigger,
course it
yes.
is.
Yeah, quite a bit bigger. And a little less pointy
less
on the
pointed.
end.
Yeah, it's more blunt,
That's,
like a rugby player.
That's a fascinating
So-
game to watch.
where's it at? Is it here?
I mean, they throw the football
the-
backwards.
North heading still okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's just dead ahead, right?
Just about, yeah. It should be 290.
290.
290.
Where is that minor bubbling target on here? Is it here? There's So Chris, when you put down a target, it has the text on the screen, but there isn't an X.
Yeah, it's right there. It's hard to see because it's red over the red background.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's right there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
The selected one turns red.
Oh, okay. Just like the dive maps I made yesterday, we were trying to find things and I had green circles on them and you couldn't see them in the dark.
Let me know when you start coming down.
Yeah, you can come down.
Okay, it's going to be going now. Sampleable.
Where are we at?
We're headed right up here. So you need 300, 15 meters.
15, okay.
Okay, we're still hunting for this elusive bubble stream.
Got an interesting comment coming in for a viewer who's been watching the Okeanos Explorer dives. They are diving in a different ocean, a very different ocean region with very different oceanographic conditions than we are right now. So that determines the depth of the dives, you know, the targets that we want to go to. We're diving quite close, you know, 30 miles off of Tillamook, Oregon today. So we're quite close to shore in the depth, and that also the productivity of this ocean is creating that deep sediment layer, both the subduction of a plate, so scraping a plate clean as it's subducting, and then the, you know, biogenic sediments, the sediment created by runoff from land and the plankton productivity in the water sinking, all creates these deep sediments and the marine snow that we're seeing in that feedback.
Yeah, we're actually about 50 miles west, about 20 miles give or take, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're on the mid slope. We're beyond the shelf break.
5 meters, 265.
And the base of the slope, the subduction range is about, I'd say another 50 miles to the west of us.
Nice. I love those days when Okeanos and Falkor are in the water, so you can see, you know, very often 3 totally different habitats, ecosystems in the ocean on 3 different ROV streams.
Not today, though. Okeanos has a weather day.
Yep, they called that dive.
Okay, so let's find this thing. See some bubbles here. Maybe, yeah, I'm just hoping that marine snow is fooling me. Yeah, so we're getting pretty close to the target that Chris laid down in the navigation.
Zoom in a little bit, Ed?
Yeah, coming in.
That's good.
some chemosynthetic mat, the white fuzzy stuff on the seafloor. Doesn't look like any of these clams are alive, does it?
Can't really tell, but no. A lot of them look open and broken. I have been seeing like whelk type shells though that look completely intact, but don't know if anyone's in there. I'm seeing, I think it's some sea pens.
Some.
I think like a sea pen. So another octocoral right up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think a little bit farther to the south, the mat was a bit thicker and there was more shell debris. What do you call it?
Oh, I call it shell debris or shell hash.
Shell hash.
Doesn't really think it makes difference. Same thing.
Were we further back over here with her?
Yeah, we were.
I think we might want to go.
Behind. It's if you lateral left a couple meters, we'll be on top of it.
Yeah.
5 meters.
To the left?
Yes. It's like right about there.
It's much easier for the ROV to go uphill than to go downhill without stirring up the sediments. That might be a live one. Some gastropods. Big snail-like looking creatures down there.
Sure looks like a likely site with all those little holes in the bottom.
I know. Oh, maybe some bubbles right there in the, if you look in the downward looking camera.
Oh, on the bubble cam.
Maybe I'm just, it's just wishful
tell if
thinking.
Just had one off the left side that looked promising, but it was one.
Okay.
Need to find the valve and turn it back on.
Yeah, maybe if we could even come farther back down and climb up again in this area. Down to the base of this mound.
Here's where we landed earlier.
Can we go even farther down, Bob?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, let's go all the way down to the same.
Are we okay for DVL reset?
All the way down to the base and then climb up in this area instead. Just a little bit to the west of our original waypoint 1. Just see what we got at the base, and yeah, you can see there's a bit of a slope here. You can see there's more
Or
bacteria
that
mat
coming up, yeah.
stuff off to the port. That's looking more promising. Yeah, keep climbing down. We're moving down. Gonna try this again. We're gonna climb up from the very bottom in this area where we saw minor bubbles up. Maybe 15 or 20 meters up the slope of this. The bubble streams that we saw in the multi-beam were emitted from the base of this feature. So maybe if we get to the bottom and climb our way back up, we might see something.
Coming down, Kylie.
Roger.
Oops. Okay. Good.
Bridge now, 10 meters, 180.
Okay. What do you think?
Bridge nav, that was 180.
Okay, we could possibly go a little bit to port, and then we'll start the ascent up again. But let's kind of pan to port and see if we're missing anything down that way first. Kind of look out, yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty much out of most of the shells and mats. So yeah, if we could climb up the slope now,
So
just kind of keep a lookout.
315.
Well, I don't know. Are we going down the slope still, or?
No, I think that's about it. I think because we're farther south than where the waypoint that we threw down was.
Okay.
We're kind of at the base of this feature now.
Okay. So
I think that what we should do is just kind of climb up very slowly and sort of pan back and forth. No rush here. And now we're sort of in line with where we saw the bubbles, the minor bubbles. So hopefully we'll see something.
okay, got it.
You know, we're looking for bacterial mat and shells and any indicator. But we can take our time and sort of pan back and forth. That would be great.
Lateral or just move the camera back and forth?
The camera, not you, Bob. Yeah,
So 315.
thank you. And then just kind of stop when you're, so we don't miss anything in front of us. Pan to the right. Okay,
That's as far right as I can go.
all right. Oh, off to the right a little bit more. That looks like a,
Okay, well, I have to turn the heading.
okay.
You want to look in there?
We
Zoom
could look
Ed.
in there.
That looks promising.
It does look promising.
Zoom in, Ed.
Going in.
Sure. And kind of that little
Holding.
channel there. Off to port.
Right there. Coming in some more.
Come on. Be good to us. Neptune. Okay. Okay. Kylie, you're supposed to be spotting these. There's more bacterial mat off.
Let me zoom out a
In
bit,
this
Bob. Are you
direction.
okay with that?
All right, zoom out again. You moving up more?
Sure. Okay, we're seeing some patches of back mat. Yeah, right up in there maybe. This looks promising.
Come on, Bubbles. Also, shout out to Noor, who's watching back in LA. Thanks for tuning in and listening.
Want to zoom in
Hope you're
there,
learning a lot. Hopefully we find
Yep.
some bubble streams together.
That's probably good.
So it looks like STILCAM is fairly thoroughly not talking to us today, but ROV, can you power cycle that one more time for good measure when you get a chance?
Sure. I'll leave it off for a second and then turn.
That looks positive. Where can you be?
It's a lot of interesting stuff in this shell hash that I
Kinda
can't
off
really make out.
that direction too. I mean, it looks positive. There's a could throw down some mat target, Chris.
Yep.
Proceed up into that area where we see quite a lot of white bacterial mat.
Zoom out, Ed.
Coming out.
And there's a couple of areas in here, but nothing that's any big, huge
Yeah,
chemosynthetic communities with,
hopefully we'll be surprised by something in a bit
Still
when we
back
travel up.
on.
yeah.
Back on.
Okay, you want to zoom in again, Ed?
Climbing up the side of the donut. Okay. This looks promising. Where is it? Some nice hairy bacterial mat there. Maybe we'll look around. Shell debris. The suspense is building. Everything looks like a bubble to me right now.
Yeah.
Certainly not any curtains of bubbles coming out of the water here.
No.
Out of the seafloor here, that's for sure.
Do you want to try poking?
Why not?
Maybe right there in the white area.
Yeah.
Which way?
If we don't
To
see
your
one.
right. Down there looks promising too, straight ahead. That.
Oh, that's a large area of mat. Yeah, maybe we should look at that.
Where do you
a
want to
little
poke?
Do here.
bit. Sure.
Okay.
See if there's anything under there.
Okay, zoom out, Ed.
Coming out.
A little and then
Full wide.
So you've put down a general target that there's a lot of mat, and
Yep.
this is a good spot to at least come back and do some push cores. And later on. We are going to travel along the top of this feature and then also go into the center, so we do have other chances of finding bubble streams. But this is the area where we saw it in
You come down?
shipboard
Sure.
multi-beam data.
Yeah. You're right under me though.
Yeah.
And who
I don't
knows,
want to
with,
get yanked because it's
with
Yeah.
the change in the tidal
pretty
cycle,
icky here.
it may turn back on. So,
Oh.
okay, look at that.
Bubbles.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
bubbles right
see?
beneath you.
Yeah, as soon as you touch it, it comes up.
You want to put a bubbles target, and boy, they're hydrate coated. Okay,
But
Bob, it's
I
time
don't
to do a
wanna-
little drilling.
Drilling?
Yeah, did you bring your drill?
I really don't advocate for that, but
No.
at this point,
I don't want to even land in it because
If it's bubbling.
No, it's just
so
it's
yeah,
pretty messy.
when you just touch the seafloor, the bubbles come out.
Yeah. I think just us driving over it was enough to stir it up to let them out.
It's crazy. Well, but not surprising.
So what's the plan of attack?
Well, you put down a... Would you like to put the pokey stick in there?
Not really.
Not really.
Well, if I have to set down, then we're going to have a mess.
That's true.
So I mean, we saw that we can make it bubble by just putting the corner of the basket in there.
Okay,
I could try and see if I can hold position, but it's going to wander around a bit.
well, there was another patch just to starboard that we might want to go and look at. And then since we have some markers down in nav, we might want to proceed to circumnavigate the rim of this, you know, go to waypoint 2 and then we were thinking about going up across
Yeah, we
and
should,
down into the cul.
before we sit down and do stuff, we should probably like do whatever you want to do as far as imaging, you know, because we're going to pick up a lot of crud if we
Okay.
set down.
Okay, well then let's proceed on over to waypoint 2.
Okay.
Which is just to the northeast of here. And see what we see over there. And then our plan is to cross over the rim of this and go down into the bottom of this feature. And over to the other side.
065.
Did you want to reset Doppler? I guess you just did.
Yeah, we're still in good shape.
Okay. Okay, 065, you say?
065.
Raj.
How far?
75 meters.
Okay, so that we're hoping that we can do a little exploration around this feature. And when we return back to this area,
Ridge now,
maybe
50 meters.
the bubble
060.
stream will have turned back on. And a lot of times that's influenced by tide. They're very intermittent features. But we can tell that they're, you know, pseudo long-term, because in these areas we see bacterial mat and fauna that's indicative of chemosynthetic communities. You see now we're getting out of it. We don't really see a lot of bacterial mat on the seafloor, and the shell debris is more scattered. There's much less of it.
I actually would have thought that high tide would have been more likely to find bubbles because you would have more weight pushing down on the bottom. But
Well, a lot of times, see, and that's the weird thing is that, you know, these things can be going, and then
yeah,
the ROV will sit down on the seafloor and they turn off.
yep, exactly.
So it seems to be the opposite. We're still learning.
Yeah, because I have seen fairly many holes in the
Hey,
seafloor that you'd think if
video's
there
off comms for
was
a sec.
bubbling, we would have seen it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, yeah, just might not be the right time. Just more of those sea pigs.
I was wondering if those were possibly from animals.
They could be. Yeah, I know
Video
sea
back on?
pens sometimes retract, and we're seeing a lot of sea pens here right now. Yeah, it could be from another
I
organism.
don't know.
Is this the settings we had?
On what? Like,
We didn't change it, right? That was
no, we didn't change it. The only thing we didn't change was our range before.
I mean, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, and it's the single digit high sensitivity, high frequency sensitivity, a mid dynamic range, and gain adjusted accordingly.
Yo, swapping.
It looks like the Sahara Desert out here.
Yeah, and the oxygen saturation has started to increase as well.
Oh, okay. So that means, could you please explain that?
Yeah, so where we were looking at the methane seeps before, I noticed it was a lot more anoxic, a lot less oxygen in the water column. And now that we're moving to this area with higher saturation, you're seeing less of the bacterial mats. So those mats tend to do really well, I guess, in anoxic conditions, those microbes.
So when the oxygen level is less.
Yeah, they like the lower
Anoxic.
conditions. They're extreme bacteria, I
Extreme
guess.
size.
they like the anoxic
They don't
conditions.
like oxygen.
Some pockmarks here.
Yeah, here's some
Yeah.
crater.
Ooh, that's interesting.
What do you call that? It's hummocky, is that
Yeah.
maybe even larger off to port?
Yeah.
Wow.
Want to zoom in
It's
a
off
bit
to
there,
the
right?
left.
Yeah, let's get a little zoom here. About there?
And what's off to port? Was it like the edge of the cliff?
Yeah.
It just,
Either
What
a
do we got,
cliff or
what do we
a
got
crater.
living here?
Yeah,
Zoom in some more?
Looking at this,
what kind of debris is that?
so that's quite a, can you pan off to port?
I'm sort of drifting over there.
Okay.
I can come back
Want to
out.
see what kind of,
Looks like old, maybe carbonate covered with sediment. Hello.
oh. Run away, run away.
This rock up here.
It's quite a steep slope.
Can't tell. Is that rock or sponge?
Oh.
Guess we'll see as we get closer.
Yeah, could we zoom up on whatever that
Thing is.
feature is right in front of us? I want to know if it's maybe a carbonate.
Yeah, there's two piles, or a couple of them.
Yeah.
These
This looks kind of tube wormy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, in
Does look
fact,
like
right
two
beneath
worms.
us, we see two worms.
There they are. Yeah.
Can you
Look at them.
drop a nav target? Yeah, we could zoom in.
Zoom in, Ed.
Coming in.
Also chemosynthetic.
Yeah,
Fauna.
they look happy.
They do look
They're happy.
happy.
Happy tube worms.
Well, that's good. And I bet that
Can
other,
you come down a little bit there?
Yeah.
Couple fly trap anemones there.
it looked like
Chris, are you
there,
moving
it
up
looked like
this
there was
way?
a larger bush
Sorry?
just
You
in
moving up
front of
this
us.
way? Yes.
And you do see a little
well,
bit of
yeah, I'm moving
staining.
towards the
Yeah, so
target.
you
If
can
you'd
see a
like, I
little
can
bit of
move
white
up
staining
more
on
towards
the
you.
sediment.
Uh-huh.
But if we're just going to get back underway.
So Bob, up ahead, there was a larger bush,
Still partial.
even
Yep.
farther up.
Good.
There.
That's not tube worms though. That's
Ridge nav, 15
Let's,
meters.
can we zoom in on that?
carbon 80.
That's correct, thank you.
That's carbonate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could we grab a piece of that?
Yep. Zoom out it.
Well, this is turning out to be more interesting than I thought it was going to be. And is that a brittle star on top of it?
I believe they're known as
5 meters,
basket
0, 0, 0.
stars, but
Basket, yeah,
like a
you're right,
brittle
that's-
star.
That's a basket star.
Very pretty.
Yeah. If we could grab a little piece of that carbonate and not disturb
Correct.
that beautiful basket star, I mean, maybe the... So if we're seeing carbonate on top of this, I wonder if it isn't, this whole donut isn't built on top of a
Ridge nav, hold
carbonate
position.
feature. I mean, it wouldn't have tumbled downhill from somewhere.
Ridge nav, 10 meters,
Coming in.
270.
Holding.
Pretty crumbly, I think. Maybe not.
It's the whole thing.
The whole thing.
If it's easier to pick up that, is that a piece just off to the left or?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a dirt clod or
Okay. Do what you're doing.
I don't know if it's going to break a piece off here without
Yeah,
really being.
if you could, that'd be great. And then I have more instructions. Are you going to want one push core? I would save more.
FYI, I'm flipped around to see you. You're like
Okay.
just so I put a wrap in the tether basically.
You want the basket star.
It's not 6 though.
What?
Not 6 wraps.
Not just one. A budget friendly amount.
Yeah, you
Okay,
don't wanna
well,
break your record.
Okay, well, we have a request for that basket star anyway, so
okay.
you don't really need to worry. We're going to sample it.
Let me come out a little
It's
bit.
pretty big, though. I mean, if the whole thing comes, it's going to be.
Let me
Yeah,
get a zoom on it before we sample it. If
What
we
about
could.
that smaller one in the
There
back?
is a smaller one, I think, in the
Also with a
background.
basket
but
star on top.
The one in the back? You
It
think
might be
that's-
small.
might be a separate piece, perhaps?
You want lasers
Hopefully.
on?
Can't really tell.
And
Yeah,
maybe
oh,
a
yeah,
separate
lasers on.
piece of carbonate and
Let
a
me get a
smaller
zoom on this
basket
too.
star. I'm going to leave this guy alone.
Center.
Can you
disk.
look behind this? I believe
all
that's
one
another
piece?
basket star.
Yeah, that piece might come off.
Yeah.
That would be,
Easier? I don't know.
I don't know, but easier, but
Okay, well, maybe we could.
less rock.
I don't care. We don't need a lot.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can try
You
that.
could grab the carbonate and have the basket star on top of it. And, I mean, and the one in
Yeah,
the back might
right.
be easier.
I got to move up.
Full wide.
Thanks, Bob.
You want the down lights on?
Yeah, try that out. All right, come in, Ed.
Coming in.
Holding.
Okay, folks, so we're going for this smaller brittle
That
star.
looks rubbly. I don't know.
Right? Is
Crumbly
that?
carbonate.
And we'll get some carbonate with it. So that'll be a rock sample and a biology
I'll
sample.
come out with you.
And that's a great
Think you're okay.
job. I'm not super concerned about the carbonate, Bob. You can get,
Okay.
we can take it in pieces, and
Well, I'm going to turn the grip force down.
as long as it just goes in one bio box and isn't mixed up with anything else.
Maybe
We
grab
don't
the
need a lot.
basket first.
So, as two separate samples here?
Well,
Can they go in the same bio box?
they can go in the same bio box. They've been,
Yeah.
it looks like they've been living together for a while.
Where do you think you might want to put them?
I'm not, it's up to you.
Starboard alpha.
It's up to them.
I make the basket star.
Yes.
Yeah, there are. So maybe on the side, since there are gas tights on the front. So maybe the starboard bio boxes would be best.
Sure.
Okay, so we're sampling this brittle star for our colleague out here, Shannon, who's doing eDNA work. And the purpose of the eDNA work is so that someday we won't have to sample the fauna itself. We'll just be able to sample the water above it, and we'll be able to identify the species without having to remove
Full wide.
it from its environment.
Okay, I think, Riley, we're going to have to turn off the starboard vertical.
Yeah, roger.
Oh.
All
Go
right.
to relays.
Yep, relay. Yeah,
Good job.
hydraulics.
So that's our first sample.
Switch
Yeah,
over
so we're
to-
going to count the
Starboard
basket
vertical
star
command.
We might be it might be
As
worth doing this
one.
as separate.
a separate. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I was
just
going to.
Yeah.
now that
And
we picked him up separately.
Yeah.
carbonate will
Yeah,
be the
that
second
one.
sample.
Okay.
I got to make sure I don't float up. now.
I clicked it, but it didn't. Click it again.
So I gotta compensate.
So this carbonate here is
Coming up a little.
also indicative of these methane seeps areas.
Okay,
You
we're
know,
cool.
carbonate is
Okay, you want to switch to sample
Sample.
mode? Draw out.
all right.
Sample tray out.
Carbonate is created by these
I'll check your
methanotrope
cameras.
archaea, which are similar to bacteria that eat the methane in the sediments, and over thousands of years they build up these carbonate structures. They're rock-like. Well, they are a rock, but they're
So we going in one of the bigger compartments?
they're more like a limestone.
Yeah,
there.
that should be fine. Unless there's, I don't think there's any
think-
need for the bigger ones. So yeah, E or F is fine.
It's quite the drop-off to port. Looks like it slides right down.
Get off.
No, it's hanging on.
That is, I would imagine. Let's see, what direction are we facing?
Sample tray in.
Yeah, probably,
Oh, okay.
just in case.
We're heading basically straight north.
Then switch back to dive
Dive.
mode. And give me some.
Slightly
Oh my
confused.
goodness, that's good.
Okay, yeah, so now this is our
Ed, can
second
you zoom in?
sample. We'll be
Yeah,
taking
coming in
this piece of carbonate rock.
right there.
Yeah, that's good. Grip force 5.
Maybe take that, just that top
Make
part
a quick
right
move.
there, that little
You want me to
hat
turn the...
Nope.
Okay.
That's okay.
where the
I don't
brittle star was sitting. Could we go for the spot where the brittle
I
star?
got to reposition here.
Okay,
sorry.
Bob, sorry.
Patience, grasshopper.
Am I being bossy?
We had to turn off our starboard thruster so we didn't shoot the brittle star out of the box. And
Oh,
puts us
okay, we
more
wouldn't want
prone
that.
to sliding around, so we just got to move back to where we were.
Put me in my place.
We're good.
Okay, thanks, guys. It looks so, you make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Who is
So
it
we're
here
getting
that
a
had the
couple of
degree in
samples here.
physics? Is that you,
That's
Kylie?
Chris.
Chris, yeah. Chris could explain all the physics of what's happening to the ROV now. Or not.
See, this carbonate is
There we
pretty
go.
crumbly. That's a nice sample.
That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Not in the basket yet.
Can we get
Oh.
a zoom of that?
They went on.
first?
Yep.
You want pictures?
Spin.
Yeah.
Sure, that would be great if we could zoom on in and get a pic or two. It's about
Have a great shot there for you.
this shaped,
There,
this
that's better.
sized.
That's way better.
Looks pretty crumbly. Nice.
This looks like a spine carbonate
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. It's not a solid block, that's for sure.
All right.
Okay, looks great. Thanks, Bob.
Not in the basket yet.
Doesn't
Not in the
count.
basket yet.
Doesn't count till it's in the basket.
A bird in hand is worth two in
Sample
the
mode?
bush or something like that.
Yeah, sample mode.
Sample tray out.
Yeah, tray out.
And Leela, you think we should put that in a separate box or the
No,
same?
let's put it in.
Is that far enough?
I think it's easier for us to manage the sub-sampling and such if we do it as a separate sample. But where it goes is up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a separate sample, but let's put it in the same box so that we have more space.
sure.
Echo.
What's happening?
Put
Yep,
any.
same box, but separate sample. Thank you.
Okay, sample tray coming in.
Okay, so our next task
can
is
dive.
going to be to take a push core in this area, right?
And that was
Nyla?
sample
Oh.
number 032.
Oh, no. Did you catch up, Bob? Push
Yeah.
core?
Disregard.
Yeah, so that would be
in the
right
same area, like right
in
here?
the tube worm bed,
Oh.
right
Right
adjacent to the
behind
tube worm
us.
bed.
Okay.
And for nav, that was sample numbers
Sample tray coming
031
out.
and 032.
Is it okay? Or do you need me to or no? Because the tray's not there anymore.
Yeah. I think, yeah, bring it out some because it gets hung
Sure.
up on the foam right there.
Yeah, we're going to have to go
More?
back
That's
just
all you know.
slightly.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to come out
Sure.
more.
Right, yep, roger.
That's good. If it's in too close, you can get hung up on the foam right there.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to need to head back a little to that tube worm bush area, which is where Lila wants this core. So not right here.
Okay, dive mode.
Yep.
Thank you. Good job on those first two samples. No, not here.
Oh.
The tube worm
The
bush.
tube worm bush, which is
Oh,
behind
roger.
us.
Ah,
I thought you didn't hear me.
misunderstood. Okay, going back.
No problem.
I'm wide.
That's pretty much straight back, right?
Just straight back
Yeah, I
here.
think they're
Yeah,
off
it's
to the
very
right, too.
close.
Okay, did you turn that thruster back on?
Sure.
Your box is still open.
So there's,
Bob.
So is that
right,
over
close
there?
the box.
Good call.
Close the box.
Yeah, was there like a really big cluster behind or yeah,
Oh,
like
here we
those
go.
Just
ones
to the
This
right
is
right.
there?
one.
That's fine.
There it is.
So we're seeing a couple of clusters of tube worms here.
Tray's in.
So where do you want to go?
Maybe between the two of them, Lila. There's some also some.
Yeah, so maybe on the far end of that first bush.
First lower or first higher?
Lower, sorry.
Lower.
And what do you mean far end?
Where the lasers are now? Or?
Ah, there you go.
You want a telestrator? Oh, there you go. I see it.
Telestrator. All right.
I think for the tube worms, we should take the smaller bush in the background.
Yeah, and we only have to take a few. But yeah, we can try taking it from there.
The smaller one, yeah.
Yeah.
So there for the good bush car. Do you want it to be right in the mat?
That
If
thruster
it
is
could
back
be
on.
like right on the outside of the tube worm bush, that'd be great.
Andrew Thurber is calling these things autogenic carbonate bits, you know, all of the stuff that we're seeing in this area. Okay, those are autogenic carbonate bits. What we just collected, the rock. Got it. Thanks.
Come.
Hey, Andrew.
Wait a minute. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's fine.